Hey guys, Alek from RaceFix here. We've got a quick video for you today in the PVS dyno room, and what we're going to have a look at is our latest customer build. It is a 2022 BRZ with the SME 2.4 litre specific turbo kit, but what makes this one different is it's an automatic. So this is our first auto. It's tuned up really well thanks to the team at SME and PVS. So let's have a quick walk around and see what we got up to. Alright, so here we are. First and foremost, sitting pretty right at the front is our SME 2.4 litre specific turbo kit, which uses a Pulsar G30 660 with a 7-pound wastegate spring. Typically the kits we supply for the 2 litre cars do use a 10-pound spring, but given just how much power these new FA24s are making with very little boost, we're starting off with 7-pound springs for our 98 cars. Next up we can see our Funk Motorsport beanie, as well as the Funk Motorsport wrap that's on the downpipe, manifold and the overpipe, just to try and keep a little bit of that heat inside the pipe instead of radiating out to the engine bay. The customer also opted to go for the Injector Dynamics ID 1050cc injectors, and what that does is it just allows a little bit more headroom on 98, but also E85 if this customer ever decides to go that way. But yeah, it just gives Tyler a little bit more headroom on the dyno to really push some more boost through it without asking too much of the factory injectors and running them a little bit hot and high in the duty cycle. Speaking of keeping things cool, we got a HKS Spec S oil cooler. Yes, this is the kit we use on 2 litre cars, but with a little bit of custom modification, we have made it work. And as you can see down here, if I get the torch in there, you can see the oil cooler core down in there. Now, the opening for the little fog light fascia isn't quite as big as it was on the early 2 litre cars, but we have opened it up a little bit, so we are still getting plenty of airflow through there. But the oil temps have been looking great in our road testing, in traffic and stuff like that. Looking down in that front bar again, if I get the torch in there, we can only just see that SME Spec RS intercooler. It's all black for full stealth mode, black silicone pipes, and we painted the clamps black, so you really can only see the intercooler if you're looking for it, which does help keep you out of trouble with the authorities. However, this kit is completely engineerable, and this car will be going to get engineered once we've got the front and rear brake kit on it. So the turbo kit and the front and rear brakes will be completely engineered, so there's no issues with the police or with insurance and stuff like that. And what makes engineering possible on these is these cracking SME kits. So as you can see, that rad support is completely untouched, unmodified. All the piping goes in nice and tidy. Down below, we've also got our 3 points of contact mounting the intercooler to the car. And although you can't see it behind the bumper, that crash bar is completely untouched and unmodified, which unfortunately can't be said for some other turbo kits that are popular on the market at the moment. Again, the heat wrap and the turbo beanie is also required for engineering, so that is all sorted, everything's all plumbed back and recirced, so it will pass engineering with flying colours. Heading around the back, sorry, I know it is a little bit dark in the dyno room, but we can also see the HKS Spec L2 catback. This is the ZD8 and ZN8 specific one, so it does sit a little bit higher and nicer in the bumper, and sounds great as well. Super quiet down low, but when you really get up it, it sounds a treat. So now let's have a look at our dyno chart. So as expected, very, very similar results to the last BRZ we did. That was a manual. However, we do see a little bit more drivetrain loss in the automatic, so we do have to run a little bit more boost to make the same numbers. I'm only talking half a pound, but because of the auto, we can run that little bit more boost just to get it up to that perfect mark. So we can see we've just cracked 400 newton meters and 239 kilowatts. So we've almost cracked the 240. I reckon if we did another run with some oil tank, we probably would have got there. And as another trend of the 2.4 litre, we can see that awesome torque curve. So 3000 RPM, it's making 400 newton meters. Even though it's on 98, it does hold that torque curve pretty flat. So it's making 350 newton meters all the way out to redline, which is awesome to see. And again, we've almost cracked the 240 kilowatt. And as you can see, super linear, super duper linear. So plenty of people talking about going supercharged for linearity, but as you can see here, super duper linear. And we're making torque the entire way across the rev range. So I personally am a big fan of turbocharging. Another cool fact to point out is because everything's done in-house here at PVS in North Rocks, this car was turned around in 4 days. So the customer dropped it off on the Monday, and it was finished and on the road and ready for pickup on the Thursday, which, considering it's the first automatic that's been done in the country with a turbocharger, is a true testament for the SME kits, the PVS tuning and the fitting and labour, and also the rest of the supporting mods that we're supplying for these cars. We've got another couple of these 2022 and 2023 BRZs and GR86s coming in for turbo kits in the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks, so it's really awesome to see the owners of these brand new gen 2.4 litre cars trusting in what we do to really untap the potential of their new cars. Yes, the turbocharger will void your driveline warranty. However, we've given this car every possible opportunity to be reliable as possible, even more so than standard. So the SME sumps that come with every single SME turbo kit have a massively increased oil capacity. They've also got a huge baffle plate. So with the added oil cooler and the increase in oil weight, there's absolutely no reason the oiling system in these new cars with these turbo kits should be any less reliable than standard, if not more reliable from what we've been seeing. If you've got any questions at all about modifying your 86 or BRZ, whether it be a 2 litre, 2.4 litre or a completely separate engine, please feel free to send me a message or an email and we'll have a chat and we'll go from there.